Hello from the Dukascopy TV studio in Geneva. We are talking about corporate social responsibility and its association to soccer with Dr. Michael Hopkins. He is chair, partner and CEO of MHCI. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
So everybody is talking about the corruption scandal of FIFA right now. You are talking, or you are a specialist on corporate social responsibility. Can you give us like an overview what corporate responsibility stands for and also what the association is with soccer and should be?
Corporate social responsibility is about treating your key stakeholders responsibly. Every institution has stakeholders, and therefore it's obvious that stakeholders should be treated responsibly, and they should also treat you responsibly. It sounds damn obvious, but not always the case. In terms of football, football is incredibly powerful, or soccer, around the world. There's a huge audience. The World Cup is regularly followed by 3 or 4 billion people and many, many children, and highly influenced by the behavior of the players. So if the players don't show social responsibility, pretty hard for kids also to demonstrate similar sorts of behavior.
And you just made the statement that there is a total lack of responsibility in Qatar's bid for the 2022 bid for the World Cup. So can you explain?
What happened, perhaps it's a bit harsh to say total lack of responsibility, because there's always some, of course, but when the bid was announced in 2010 for the winners of the World Cup, who are going to hold the World Cup in the year 2022, same time as 2018, by the way, it's another issue, Qatar came out of the hat and everybody was stupefied. Qatar? Country of 200,000 people, not known for playing football even. How came they won? And you can imagine all the rich European countries, my country, particularly England, which had a very strong bid, so it was said, and was represented at that meeting by Prince Charles, by Tony Blair, the Prime Minister at that time, by David Beckham and other dignitaries. So they were absolutely flabbergasted. Qatar, something funny went on there. What was it?
Yeah, so FIFA, everybody is talking about the corruption now, and so Mr. Blatter is stepping down or not, so he still leaves it somehow open. So yeah, so it's a corruption scandal. Isn't that simply the way sort of the football world works?
Unfortunately, it seems to be. And if it's known that referees, for instance, are corrupt or players are accepting bribes, who's going to watch football? So it's a huge scandal. And we're just starting to get to the bottom of it. The big scandal really started in terms of the World Cup and the bids and how these were worked out. Were they all in the traditional smoke-filled rooms, discussions with lots of money being handed out? For the Qatar World Cup, there's an investigation by the Sunday Times, a respectable British newspaper, called The Ugly Game, and it details all sorts of transfers of money from people very close to the Emir in Qatar to people in Africa, in South America, and so on. And there you find even tiny countries like Montserrat, 15,000 people, have the same number of votes as China. Pretty easy to ask them to vote for who you like. It didn't take too much. And
so what could be done now to regain trust in this rather corrupt system? What are your proposals?
I think Qatar has got actually a great opportunity if they wish to safeguard their reputation, because it's going to be and has been severely damaged, because we know that there's been all sorts of payments behind the scenes, and there is a way out for them. They have said they're building 9 or 10 stadiums, and they said after the World Cup that they would distribute them to needy countries around the world. They obviously don't need them for 1.2 million people in their country. My suggestion is distribute the stadiums beforehand, before the World Cup, to those needy countries, and let those needy countries run some of the games in the World Cup. Then Qatar would still have the World Cup. They could run the opening game, they could run the final and maybe the third and fourth place up to negotiation. They would only need one stadium, could be air conditioned, their hotels would be easily able to accommodate the fans, and then maybe 7 or 8 countries around the region. Kenya's 3 or 4 flying hours from Qatar. Greece is 4 or 5 hours. Azerbaijan is 3 hours. Kuwait is an hour. Could easily accommodate the World Cup. And Qatar's reputation would soar. Now they would get away by being accused of focusing everything in Qatar, also holding it in the summer heat where it's going to be 50 centigrade. Many countries have heard that they're going to transfer it to the winter, and they're angry about that because they said at the time they shouldn't have won. It's absolutely ridiculous. So the big scandal, and I think we're going to hear much more about it as the investigations with FIFA continue. So my advice to Qatar, save your reputation, help needy countries, and your reputation will soar and you'll still get the World Cup.
And as a final question, where do we stand today with responsibility in football, and what should be done to also to mend the system, to make the system less corrupt as it is today?
Well, I'm not looking for work, but a heck of a lot of work. FIFA really needs a lot of work to look at democracy in the organization, who's making the decisions, how are the decisions being made, who are the key stakeholders in FIFA? Are they national associations, which may not be particularly close to football, who are actually voting in the teams and the management in FIFA? So it needs to be made more democratic. And I think that the election process, I hope, to replace Blatter, will follow that route. We'll look at much more transparency, which is the core of corporate social responsibility, which believes in anti-corruption processes.
Dr. Michael Hopkins, thank you very much for being here today.
Pleasure. Thank you.
And thanks for watching. Do make sure to keep clicking back on the Dukascopy TV website for latest updates and exclusive interviews. Have a great day and see you next time.